In last class, we discussed about tribal movements. And today, you should discuss about the Pageant revolts. You completed second block in the last class. Here, this third block divided into 3 units. Unit 7, the title of the Unit 7, Indigo and Pabna revolts of Bengal and Bihar. And Unit 8, Dakkan Rights, Mopla Revolt, Bhagava Movement, Worli Movement, Punna Praha Movement, Vailar Movement, and Telangana Pageant struggle. And Unit 9, All India Kisan Sabha. Now we discuss about the Unit 7. The today topic is Indigo and Pabna revolts of Bengal and Bihar. Indian agrarian economy suffered very badly due to the land revenue policies. Already we discussed in last chapters about the land revenue policies. 3 kinds of land revenue policies that the Britishers introduced during their period. Due to the land revenue policies, these policies were introduced by East India Company. Under the rule of the East India Company, Indian peasants lost their rights, especially their land rights. Before company, Indian peasants had rights and concessions. When company entered into Indian peasants' life, peasants lost their rights and concessions. Before British peasants, whatever crop they want, cultivate, that only they cultivate. When the company got power, from that time onwards, they forced peasants to cultivate commercial crops like indigo, cotton, etc., etc. When company forced peasants to cultivate commercial crops, they started revolts against British. Here, some factors lead to the rise of peasants' revolts. What kind of factors are responsible to lead the peasants' revolts? Here, you will see. You will learn those kinds of factors. Before the establishment of the British rule in India, peasants enjoyed complete freedom in cultivating crops along with land rights. According to local needs and market, peasants, Indian peasants, cultivate various crops, namely food grains, flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Last time we discussed about the Europeans. Basically, They came to India for trading purpose. Here also, India also native traders. They are Quamitas, Lambadis, Pericas, Balijas, and Arabs. These were played an important role in trade. When British introduced commercial crafts, peasants started revolt against British. Basically, peasants, they cultivate traditional crafts. When British introduced commercial crafts and peasants started revolts against British, the British exported large quantities of cotton, oilseeds, and indigo to England at low cost. The English Trade Association got victory over the European trade unions. They are namely French, Portuguese, and the Dutch. And in 1891, from 1861 to 1865, there were one civil war occurred in America. When America civil war was occurred, that civil war occurred from 1861 to 1865. This was an important factor which gave a boost to the growth of commercialization of agriculture in India. During the Civil War of American, raw material could not go to England. During the American War, Americans did not send to raw material to England. Due to this, the help of peasants, large quantities of raw cotton, indigo, jute, and oilseeds were exported by British to England. This has led to a scarcity of food grains for Indian peasants. The cultivation of commercial crops such as cotton, jute, etc. caused great damage to native peasants. Before Britishers came to India, that Indian peasants cultivated only traditional crops. When Britishers forced to cultivate commercial crops, from that time onwards, caused great damage to native peasants. This was given great effect on Bengal, Bihar, Gujarat, and Bihar. In 1866, there were occurred worst famine in Bengal and Orissa. Due to this, thousands of people starved to death without food grains. In Bengal, Bihar, there were occurred మనకు డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఉంటుందమ్మా మధ్యలో మాట్లాడిన పెడితే నేను చెప్పలేను డోర్ క్లోజ్ Now this point, you will discuss about this point, Indigo Revolt in Bengal. Indigo cultivation was introduced in the year 1777, which was introduced by Louis Bernard. He was introduced this crop first time in Bengal. When he was introduced in 1777, he was the first indigo farmer in Bengal. This crop first cultivated in two villages, namely Tadlagarji and Gopalapur. Both are located in Hooghly district. Both were became first centers to cultivate indigo crop in Bengal. When company defeated Bengal Nawab in the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and Buxar in 1764, from that time onwards, East India Company played main role in Bengal. Already we discussed about that Plassey, Battle of Plassey. This Battle of Plassey was occurred between the East India Company and Bengal Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla in 1757. There were a great demand for indigo and textile crafts in England as well as other European countries. So the East India Company officials, forced the Bengal peasants to cultivate indigo crop instead of traditional food crops. As a result, indigo cultivation spread to the Burdwan, Bankura, Birbhum, and North 24 Parganas. When the peasants were not in position to invest and cultivate, the English planters offered loans, which was called Dandan. This was given at a very high interest. If cultivators don't have money, that English planters only provide that money to them for interest, for high interest. The indigo contractors paid just 2.5% of the market price to peasants, but this was not sufficient amount for their families. According to 1833 Act, indigo planters and contractors got more powers to suppress farmers, and also all the Jamindars which were belonging to Bihar and Bengal were given support to British. As a result, the first revolt started again against the oppressive policy of indigo contractors and planters, which was started in the year 1859 in two villages. When was started this revolt? This was started in 1859. Where was started this revolt? This revolt was started in two villages. One is Changcha and another one is Gobindapur. Both were located in Nadia district of Bengal. Going for peasant leader Vishnu Sharan Biswas. Chengsa peasant leader Digambar Biswas. Both were played an important role to spread the movement, and they stopped in indigo cultivation in those places. This revolt spread to Murshidabad, Bairdve, Birdwam, Pabna, Pulana, and Nairur. The British officials used police force to suppress the revolt. When they started revolts, immediately the Britishers used some police force on them. Some indigo farmers attacked indigo depots and set fire to them. Many planters were attacked by peasants. Some of the zamindars were also attacked by peasants. Finally, the indigo revolt was crushed down by the British with the use of heavy police power. Finally, the indigo revolt was crushed down by British with the use of heavy police power. Jamindars also supported the police and authorities. Large number of peasants were brutally killed by police. The leader of Indigo Revolt, Biswant Sardar, was hanged at Asan Nagar near Nadia. The other important leaders, such as Vishnu Charan Biswas, Digambar Biswas, Kadar Molla, Refugee, Mandal, encouraged people to support indigo peasants. Now you discuss about the point of the effects of the indigo revolt. What kind of effects are showed on other people? Indigo revolt had occurred from 1859 to 1860. When was occurred this one? When was happened this one? This was indigo revolt was happened in. It was started in 1859 and ended in 1860. As a result of this, more changes were happened in the society. Different sections of the people were affected by the revolt. Nilidarpan, a drama was played an important role in revolt. Dinabandhu Mitra wrote Nilidarpan in Bengali language, which was published in the year 1860 from Dhaka. Who wrote this Nilidarpan? Who wrote that Nilidarpan? That Dinabandhu wrote that Nilidarpan. This drama was published in the year 1860 from Dhaka, which was translated by Mitchell Madhusudan Dutt into English. It was published by Reverend James Long. He was imprisoned by British officials. They imposed 1,000 rupees fine on him. It was paid by Kali Prasanna Sinha, a supporter of the Indigo Pageants. Like this, various organizations were given support to Indigo Pageants. For example, Christian missionaries also gave support to the Indigo Pageants. Famous historians, namely R.C. Mazumdar and Jagdish Chandra Bengal, wrote various books and described about British oppressive policies in their books. After more struggle, the British government appointed Indigo Commission on March 31st, 1860 to study the problems of Indigo peasants. Nawab Abdullah Latif played an important role to appoint commission. After his efforts, the British appointed commission. The commission was established with 5 members to inquire problems of the peasants. In this process, commission met 134 people, especially planters. They made a commission met planters, rights, and zamindars. The commission heard their views about Indigo peasants. Finally, the commission submitted its report in August 1860. According to this report, Indigo cultivation system was very oppressive, and also sanction of advance to peasants at high interest rates was very high. And next, you learn about Pabna Peasants Revolt. Already we discussed about that Indigo Revolt. Now we are going to discuss about the Pabna Peasants Revolt. This revolt was happened. This revolt was started in 1873 and ended in 1874. Pabna Peasants Revolt played an important role in Indian history. After Indigo Revolt, which was played an important role in Bengal. It was started in Bengal at Pabna. This Pabna located in Yusuf Pargana. This movement was organized by Ishan Chandra Rai. Who was organized this movement? Where was occurred this movement? This movement was occurred at Pabna. It was started in 1873 and ended in 1874. Nearly 2 years were occurred this movement under the leadership of the Ishan Chandra Rai. Ishan Chandra Rai was a great local Bengali leader. Under the leadership of Ishan Chandra Rai, Indigo peasants started revolts against oppressive policies of Jamindars against local farmers. Lord Northbrook was the British viceroy in India. He was also played an important role during the Pabna Revolt. What are the causes for the Pabna Revolt? What kind of causes showed for the Pabna Revolt? During the period of Lord Cornwallis, Jamindars, already we said that three kinds of land revenue systems were introduced by East India Company. Those are called Jamindari system and Raitwari system and Mahalwari system. During the period of Lord Cornwallis, Jamindaris got land and rights. They got land rights. From that time onwards, Jamindars, peasants were harassed by Jamindars and contractors. According to 1859 Act, peasants had rights on their lands, but all their rights were got by Jamindars, harassed them. The poor peasants were removed from their farmlands by Jamindars without any notice. What the Jamindars did here, Jamindars occupied farmers' lands, but they didn't give without any notice. They occupied farmers' lands. The contractors and revenue staff also harassed the poor peasants. This is also one kind of reason for Pabna revolt. During the revolt, Pabna rights were formed one association in 1873. Under this association, peasants were attacked on landlords. In order to control the situation, the British government gave support to peasants. During the revolt, the famines also was played an important role in Bengal. These famines were occurred from 1873 to 1774. Due to these famines, the revolt was slowly decreased. Whoever suffered lot against British revenue policies, against the British revenue policies, those people were taken this revolt as role model to fight against British. Leaders of revolts and their achievements. When British established their power in Bengal, from that time onwards, they introduced exploitative land revenue policies on peasants. These policies, the peasants were started. When we introduced these policies, the peasants were started revolts against British policies. In this context, two persons, both were brothers, played an important role in revolt. One is Vishnu Sharan Biswas, and another person is Digambar Biswas. Ishan Chandra Rai also did the same work during the Pabna peasant revolt. They became role model for future youth in Bengal. And here also this Pabna revolts also completed, and this seventh unit completed, and we are going to discuss about the eighth unit. Here in eighth unit, you learn a lot of things about Deccan Rights Revolt and Mopla revolts and Bijolia revolt and Punnara Wailer revolt, Tebaga revolt, Woodley revolt, and Telangana Pageant revolts. Okay. Now we discuss about the Deccan Rights Revolt. Firstly, the Deccan Rights Revolt was started at Supa village. Where it was started? The Deccan Revolt was started at Supa village. This village was located in Pune district. Where it was located? This was located in Pune district. When it was occurred, this was occurred in 1785. This revolt was occurred in 1875. The Deccan peasants attacked marketplaces. They were mainly concentrated on marketplaces. Why they mainly concentrated on marketplaces? Moneylenders lived in marketplace only. That's why they concentrated on marketplace. They concentrated on market. The moneylenders, with the support of revenue officers, tortured the poor peasants. The moneylenders, they took support revenue officials, East India Company officials, and both tortured the poor peasants. The peasants attacked on the many moneylenders' houses, burned their houses, account books. The peasants attacked on the many landlords' houses. They burned their houses, account books, and looted grain from moneylenders. They also attacked the houses and shops of the traders. They declared social boycott against moneylenders. The village headman also supported the farmers' activities. The movement continued for 2 months, which was spread this movement to many villages. This was violent movement, not non-violent. The peasants received support from the Pune Sarvajanika Sabha. This Pune Sarvajanika Sabha organized this movement. This Sabha was established by Mahatma Govinda Rande, Mahadev Govinda Rande. The Pune Sarvajanik Sabha was established by Mahadev Govinda Rande. Mahadev Govinda Rande was the founder of the Sarvajanik Sabha. With the help of various organizations and different sections of the people, it was going totally violently. The police worked hard to control revolt, but they did not control revolt. Finally, the government appointed a commission to inquire the peasants' revolts, which was called Deccan Rights Commission. When government was established this commission, the government established this commission in 1878. This commission, in 1878, a report was presented in British Parliament. Due to this agriculturalist Relief Act was passed by the government in 1879. According to this act, peasants got some security from the government. Vasudeva Balwant Padke started a violent campaign against British rule in 1879. The purpose of this movement to get freedom from British, but he was arrested and sent to Aden, where he died during hunger strike in 1883. And next one, Mopla revolts. Britishers established their power in Malabar in 1792. From that time onwards, Malabar under the control of British. Moplas came from Arab and settled in Malabar. They were called Moplas. From 9th century onwards, Moplas were maintained good relations with the local Malabaris. Most of the Moplas were traders. Basically, Moplas came to Malabar for trading purpose. After settled in Malabar, they got more concessions from local Malabar Hindu leaders. When settled in Malabar, they married Nair or TR community women. Most of the Hindus from lower caste converted Moplas, especially Chamars converted into Moplas. After that, Moplas became agriculturalists, landless laborers, tenants, fishermen, and petty traders. Mopla revolt occurred was not only against British, but also against local Hindu landlords of Malabar. But this revolt was happened not only against British, but also against local Hindu landlords. The Jennis got more power in lands from 10th century onwards in Malabar. The Jennis belonged to Hindu caste Hindus. The Jennis belonged to high caste Hindus. They had more lands under their control. These Jennis lent these lands to other peasants for cultivation. The second important section in the Malabar society were the Muslim Moplas. They were called Khanamdars. The peasant cultivators were called Veru Pattanda. Agricultural laborers were also played an important role in Malabar society. The Malabar Raja granted land to Nambudri Brahmins. The Raja granted land to Nambudri Brahmins, but they were engaged in priestly duties. Nayars, the Nayars, the military officials, basically they are military officers. They also received land from the Raja. Thus the land before 18th century was distributed between Nambudri Brahmins and Nayars. During the period of Mysore rulers, especially Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan time, the situation was totally changed. Nayars lost their status and Moplas entered into field. But after 1799, the Nayars again got their earlier right on land. They got their rights with the help of British officials, and also they got support from Raja and Janmis. When the Nayars got power on land, the Moplas lost their livelihood. Due to this, Moplas started revolt against British revenue laws. According to eminent scholar D.N. Danagere, the first revolt was occurred in 1836. There were 22 uprisings were occurred between 1841 and 1849. During the revolt, many peasants were killed by Britishers. The pattern of the rebellion was uniform. Usually, a group of Mopla youths attacking a Brahmin Janmis or Nayar, and also they were burning Hindu temples and attacking landlords' houses. When this was happening, the police used lathis or fired on them. During the period of the Khilafat movement, the Mopla peasants were participated. But after the 1921, the Moplas became very militant. Due to this, the spirit of Swaraj and non-cooperation lost their significance between August 1921. Moplas failed to solve the burning problems. The rich Mopla peasants did not involve in this movement. There were occurred a revolt at Pukotur village in August 1921. But this revolt was crushed by the British. But finally, the Malabar Mopla rebellion was completely crushed the end of the December in 1921. Next, Bijolia movement. Where it was started, Bijolia movement. Bijolia movement was started at Mewar in Rajasthan. Mewar peasants played an important role in the movement against the heavy taxation. Why this movement was occurred? This movement occurred against the heavy taxation. These movements begin in 1905. When it was begin this movement was begin in 1905. When nationalist movement was, during that time, national movement was violent in some parts of India. 86 types of taxes were imposed on peasants. Due to this, the peasants refused to cultivate lands and tried to emigrate to neighboring areas, which was happened in 1905 and again in 1930. During the movements, various persons were played an important role against British policies. In 1913, a protest was occurred against taxes, which was carried by Saint Sitaram Das. Saint Sitaram Das was played an important role in 1913 against the British policies. In 1915, a revolt started under the leadership of Bhub Singh alias Vijay Singh, Pathik. And next one, Punnapraha Vailar revolts. Punnapraha Vailar revolts. South Kerala was ruled by Travancore Prince, Travancore King. This is princely state like Nizam state. Communist ideas were in these areas. This revolt was organized by communist leaders. This who was organized this movement? There's only communist leaders who only organized this movement. This revolt was occurred against the Prime Minister. This revolt was occurred against Prime Minister or Divan. C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer. This movement was led by T.K. Varghese Vaidyan. Varghese Vaidyan was the leader of this movement. During the revolt, peasants, agricultural laborers were deeply impressed with communist principles. C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer, Diwan of the state, declared like this: Travancore state will not join in Indian Union. After 1947, it will stay an independent state. And also he proposed an American model of Travancore. But the communists were opposed his idea. Due to Divan attitude, there were occurred various revolts between peasants, workers, and police. Due to the police firing, there were more than 150 peasants at Vailar, 470 people at Punnapraha were killed, which was occurred on October 28, 1946. After end of the struggle, the peasants and workers were built a memorial pillar at Kalarkot, Alappuzha, places. Finally, revolts were crushed by the police and military forces. Next one is the Tebaga movement. The Tebaga movement was occurred in Bengal and Bihar, which was carried by the Kisan Sabha. Who was lead this movement? This Kisan Sabha lead this movement. Where it was happened, the Tebaga movement was happened in Bengal and Bihar. This movement was occurred from 1946 to 1947. This movement was occurred against the forcible collection of 3/4 share from peasants by rich landlords. There were occurred famine in Bengal in 1943. Due to this, peasants suffered a lot, especially Sundarbans area was seriously affected in terms of famines. In September 1946, Bengal Kisan Sabha was started Tebaga movement. These movements were occurred in various places, namely Kakdif, Sonarpur, Bangar, and Kanming. The primary aim of the Kisan Sabha is to reduce the 3/4 instead of 1/3 share, which was forcibly collected by landlords. Who were important leaders in this movement? The important leaders, namely Kansari, Halder, Ashok Bose. These leaders were played an important role in this movement. This movement was occurred after India got independence. This movement was occurred after India got independence. This was ended in 1950 when was introduced Bargadari Act. According to this new act, the peasants to pay 2/3 of their production to the landlords. After 1950, here Krishna Konar played an active role to collect surplus land from landlords. These lands were distributed landless peasants. Eminent Bengal historian Ashok Mazumdar, in his work Tebaga Movement, Politics of Peasant Protest in Bengal, he described in this movement about the Tebaga movement and their leaders and merciless rich landlords. And next, Worli Adivasi struggle. The Worli Adivasi revolt was occurred in Maharashtra. Where it was occurred in Maharashtra. Mainly they were concentrated in Western India. They had more land in Thana district, which was, that Thana district was 60 miles from Mumbai. During the British rule, outsiders came to their area and occupied their land. From that time onwards, they became tenants under outsiders. Without any remuneration, they worked for landlords. When Worlis attacked Kishan conference, when Worlis attended Kisan conference, which was conducted in 1945. After this conference, they wanted to revolt against landlords under Communist Party leadership. Maharashtra Kisan Sabha sent Godavari Bai Purlekar as the representative to live with the Worlis and deal with the problems. Under the leadership of Godavari Bai Purlekar, they carried revolt from 1945 to 1947 against landlords. In 1945, 15,000 grass cutters started revolt under the leadership of Shamrao and Godavari Bai Purleka. During the revolt, government opened fire on Murlis. Murlis carried revolt for various issues. After this movement, government passed Bombay Tenancy Agricultural Lands Act in 1948. Next one is Telangana Pageant struggle. The Hyderabad state was ruled in by Asaf Jahis from 1724 to 1948. During their long rule, they ruled more than 2 centuries. During this period, there were more changes or occurred in political, socio-economic, and cultural fields. The Nizam paid only little attention towards the welfare of the peasants. They handed over the land revenue collection right to Jamindars, Deshpandes, Deshmukhis, Patels, and Patwaris. The Nizam introduced oppressive agrarian reforms. The Communist Party united the poor peasants and workers against oppressive agrarian reforms of the Nizam. The communist ideology became very popular in Hyderabad state. Telangana peasants and other common people were suffered by Rajakars attacks. Rajakars attacked on people which they were carried from 1946 to 1951. Communist Party was founded in 1940 in Telangana. The Communist Party was played an active role to solve peasants and workers' problems against Nizam. Hyderabad State Congress and the Arya Samaj also gave support to the peasants and workers. The Communist Party gained popularity after the Vande Mataram movement, which was organized by the Usmani University students in 1938. What was the main cause for the Telangana struggle? Peasants don't have rights on their lands. Because of this, peasants started struggles against Demindars, Deshmukhs, Patels, and Patwaris. Before 1940, there were 3 types of land revenue systems practiced in Nizam state. The landlords, Jamindars, Deshmukhs, Deshpandes enjoyed ownership rights over land. Diwani or Khalsa, Jagir, and Sarifi Khas are 3 forms of land tenure systems are available in Nizam state. 60% of the agricultural land was under the control of the cultivators or pattadars. Pattadars paid regular tax to the state. 30% of the land was under the control of the jagirdars or nobles. The crown's land was known as Sarifi Ka. 10% land was under their control. There were village system or forced labor provided and practiced in many villages in Nizam state. The Jagirdars and the Jamindars, revenue officials, exploited the innocent villagers. There were many revolts were occurred against oppressive policies, against the Nizam oppressive policies. In 1938 and 1940, a poor farmer named Sheikh Bandagi Sahib openly revolted against the oppressive attitude of Deshmukh Vishnuri Ramchandra Reddy. The incident was occurred in Kamareddy Gudem, which was located in Jangaram Taluk.